Gang, we're here at day 2 of San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm here with a man that needs no real introduction, Phil Brooks, a.k.a. CM Punk. How's it going?
It feels like day 5.
I know, yesterday, I think, was 4 days.
Nobody counts the preview day, right? As
That's
a day?
true.
That's a day.
Like straight shopping day, though.
That's a day. I don't know. That's a day. I feel like I've been here for 16 years. That's not a bad thing.
They might have crammed some extra hours. I didn't check.
Yeah.
It could have been 27 hours yesterday.
It might have been. I don't know.
So I got to say, it's a dream come true to have you here on the show.
Oh, no. Come on.
We're huge fans, but you're no Nerdist stranger. I mean, you did, let's see, you had Celebrity Bowling, you did Grammar Slam, and
yes.
Now you're doing the podcast with Chris Hardwick tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, that's predominantly actually why I'm here. Is I'm doing stuff with the Nerdist brand like all week. It's been fun.
Nice. So how did all that come about?
I guess I just I met Hardwick and I hit it off. Like obviously I was invited to do Talking Dead, and basically from that is the seed that got planted.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I actually appreciate it because he said he never really thought much about having a show like ours on the network until he met you.
Oh, wow. See, there you go. We're opening doors, ladies and gentlemen.
So let's see here. We normally film our show in L.A.
Yep.
So I got to say, a lot of my friends were getting quite a kick out of you in a Kings jersey on Twitter not too long ago.
Oh, God. I would not have agreed to do this podcast if I knew you were going to bring that up. Brutal.
How did that bet come about? Like, what started that?
Just, all things come back to Twitter, right?
Of course.
The previous year's conference finals, same teams, Hawks and Kings, and started this hilarious Twitter beef with the Kings mascot Bailey, and we've been brought together by our mutual love of hockey, and I think it kind of sheds a light on what I think is the most exciting sport, and maybe people who wouldn't normally have watched it or tune in and see how awesome and exciting it is, just based on me and Bailey going back and forth about which team is better. And so this year we decided to do a bet, and I think the Kings and the Hawks are so strong that I wouldn't be surprised to see them battling it out for the conference championship for many years to come. So, I mean, expect more bets,
Nice. Did a small part of you die that day, though?
Just like me, it's not even just that picture. It's the story that went into it. Mm-hmm. I was specifically going to the United Center anyway to meet my friend Jason LaBarbera. He was the Hawks, one of the backup goalies. He played for the Ice Hogs in Rockford. He's since been traded to the Ducks, but I digress. I was meeting him there. He's actually got me on his helmet.
No way.
So I was meeting him there, so he didn't have to take his helmets anywhere. So I was meeting him at the United Center to sign the helmets, and I was like, well, I might as well bring this Kings jersey and get this over with, because a bet is a bet, and I'm a man of my word. So I met him there, and he's standing there staring at me as I'm approaching him with a Kings jersey, just looking at me like, what the fuck? And they have outside right next to the statues. They have a giant merch tent set up.
Oh, okay.
So they were kind of closing that down. Mm-hmm. So they had all their workers out there closing it up for the season. And then they just watched this asshole pull out a Kings jersey and put it on, and my poor wife is taking a picture of it, and all these people came out of the tent, and they're like, some words were exchanged.
I'm sure.
And I was just like, everybody relax. I lost a bet. I have to do this.
Than you do.
And then to top it off, we're leaving, and then the famous Eddie Olczyk's son comes out of the building.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. So it.
That's awesome.
I brought great shame to myself that day.
Well, it takes a big man to do it, so it says a lot about your character. So speaking of sports, I did see there is a couple of chairs up for auction on auction.mlb.com, designed and painted by you to commemorate Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game. with the proceeds going to Cubs charities.
Yes.
Is that an idea that they approached you with, or did you say, hey, this is something I want to do?
No, they approached me because I wouldn't have known they were doing it otherwise. And I think actually this is the last weekend they're on display because all the chairs, everybody did, like me, Gary Sinise, Vince Vaughn, loads of people.
Oh, okay.
Did them. They got like all the sports organizations. There's actors with ties to Chicago, celebrities, all kinds of things, and they're on display up and down Michigan Avenue. I think this is the last weekend they're on display. I'm not sure when the auction actually ends.
I think it goes a couple weeks.
If you're into that, I mean, it's kind of twofold. If you're a fan of sports memorabilia and you're a fan of mine, go bid on some chairs that I painted.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to charity anyways.
Absolutely.
It's literally charity.
Yeah, oh,
See?
Wow.
See what happened?
I'm embarrassed that I didn't think of that. Wow.
Well, I've fully exhausted my sports knowledge, so we can move on
Okay.
To geek culture. You've been known to sport a Wolverine-esque look before.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say, if you could pick to be any superhero, any comic book guy, would it be Logan, or do you have somebody else on the top of your list?
Oh, geez. I mean, that's just like asking if you could have a superpower, what would it be? I find the older I am, the more wise I get, and the answer always changes. But I don't know why I'm so exhausted right now, and just kind of my human interactions for the day haven't been so splendid. So I would be Frank Castle.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And everybody's a criminal, if you know what I mean.
So it's all downhill from here is what you're saying.
No. I'm sure once I get some solid food in me, it'll be much better.
I think I saw some snacks floating
I
around
have a
over there.
burrito in my backpack.
I actually left a burrito at an interview yesterday. It was a sad moment for
Never
me.
leave a man behind.
I tell you what.
Never leave a man behind.
I felt bad like I had lost one of my own. The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie hits theaters pretty soon.
Yes.
I've always kind of thought that you were the real-life embodiment of Casey Jones.
Casey Jones. I get this a lot, and it's super, super flattering. Yes.
I mean, it's
super
just
flattering.
Would you ever want to play him if you were given the chance?
Of course. But, now we're going to have to wait another 15 years for them to reboot the thing, and
true.
you know what I mean? I might be dead by then.
Is he in this one? Do you know? I haven't
haven't seen anything about it. I saw one trailer. It looks cool.
Yeah. How do you feel about the new look of the Turtles?
I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like everything is about kind of dissecting and raping our childhood now. Like this is our generation and this is our culture, and we hold all these things near and dear to ourselves. And I feel like mine is the generation that grew up like stoked that there were going to be new Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And now we're all older and wiser, and we know that those three that came out are fucking unwatchable.
Just the worst thing ever.
Unwatchable. Try going. Anybody listening to this, cue it up. Try going to watch it.
The second one, I literally tried the other day, and
Can't do it.
I did algebra instead.
Can't do it. So wait, what?
Yeah, it was that bad.
That's bad. On purpose, you did algebra?
It was just that
It's the
bad.
strangest
It was
thing I've
the
ever
best
heard.
thing I could think of
No,
to
but
get away from
I
that.
think. I think I have a sentimental attachment to the first Turtles movie and the Turtles franchise and everything.
Mainly Vanilla Ice, I'm sure.
No, you know what? I just have memories of trying to be kicked out of my house. The school bus says you gotta go to school, and I remember I remember when Jim Henson died, and this was I think this might have been like one of the last projects he was kind of like attached to and stuff like that. And I remember watching interviews early, whatever the hell the TV shows were early in the morning, and watching. This awesome technology that they're using to make bring these turtles to life. The look is cool. Yeah, definitely.
That is one of the good things. They are bringing back the man in a suit and then kind of tweaking it. I guess, with graphics.
Which because I hate CGI, which I always appreciate that stuff.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies is American Werewolf in London.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't touch that. So, nowadays everything's CGI.
That's Rick Baker who did all that effects, I think. Yeah.
Yep. And last time I was at the Comic-Con, I actually ran into Rick Baker at Nobu, and I mean legitimately walked around a corner and he slammed right into my chest, and I thought I almost knocked him over.
Oh, Lord.
It felt so horrible.
He's actually one of the nicest guys. I met him a couple times, and he's one of the nicest guys in the biz.
He was cool, yeah.
He got asked to do Maleficent, and he was very excited to do it. He's like, people think I retired. I still want to work.
Yeah, right?
Send me
it's
your
just
work.
everything's CGI now.
Yeah, it's few and far between.
I'm not a fan. I understand using it to accent things, like you said, the turtles.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a good idea. But to rely predominantly on that, I'm not a fan of it.
I hate that shit with like Garfield or whatever, where it's actually the full character is the CGI. It looks horrible, and it kind of takes you out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really dig it. So I know you did Talking Dead. You mentioned it earlier, but were you a fan of the comics as well?
Oh, yeah, huge.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, very huge.
Do you like the fact that the two worlds are really becoming very, very separate entities on their own?
Yeah, I am. I don't read single-issue comics. I stopped having the patience for it years ago. Plus, with my travel schedule being what it was, I was on the road constantly.
Yeah.
Single-issue comics don't keep very well in a bag. And so my thing was always, I just wait for trade paperbacks. They travel so much better. I get to read 4, 5, 6 books at a time.
They feel you're not done in 20 seconds.
Right. So my reading of Walking Dead comic books was kind of like few and far between anyway. I always had to wait for the trade to come out to kind of catch up and find out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's always talking about what's going on in the single issues, and I have no idea. So I love it. I love the fact that I'm not going to know what's going to happen on the show, because obviously there are elements of things that are in the comic book, and they're using those. But I like the idea of not knowing, because you
kind of get double the enjoyment in a lot of ways.
Well, I think a lot of people have expectations of what they expect and how they expect things to be and who they want playing certain characters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I have. I don't know if it's a negative thing to say, but I have no expectation. I have high expectations for the show, but I have no expectations of, living up to what the comic book's already done. I like that they take a different avenue.
Yeah. I mean, I think the success of Daryl shows at least people are willing to explore what's going on.
I think that's a great point. I think a lot of people probably wouldn't even realize that he is not a character in the comic book. Yeah.
Now, they're filming or about to film a prequel for it. Is that something that you would ever consider maybe trying to get a role on there or a walk-on role of something?
I mean, I'm not going to, throw my name in a hat or anything like that.
I'll do it if you need me to.
I mean, who's listening to this that's going to give me a job?
I can make some calls.
Let's be realistic. I mean, I'm not doing anything. So if you,
you got some time, I'll figure out somebody. They're all here. All here.
I'm slowly but surely getting into that world. It's something I think I have a perfect fit for.
I mean, you've played so many characters.
But I'm also kind of picky, and I don't want to be one of these guys that does a really campy bad movie.
Right.
Just to get a SAG card, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm picky about what I think I'm fortunate enough to be afforded that luxury of being able to decide what and where I want to go and who I want to do things with. It's one of the reasons I'm here, you know what I mean? Hardwick called me up, was like, "You want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." Sounds like fun. Yeah. I'm surrounded by good people. I know them. I trust them. But I would love to do any number of things. I will play Casey Jones in a prequel of Walking Dead. Fuck it.
Wow, that might be a harder sell, but we'll see what we can do. So, have you gotten a chance to hit the floor at all over there at Comic-Con?
I was on the floor Wednesday night. And I've been on the floor every day, but we've been filming stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I've been busy, so I really haven't been able to look around. And actually, my big, gigantic plan yesterday, after we filmed the wrap-up show at Petco Park, was to walk the floor. So I was all excited. Actually, it's one of the reasons I ditched out on you yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I was starving, so I was like, and I left Petco Park. I ate at Nobu really quick, and then I walked across the street, and I was stoked to walk the floor. And then I was like, I need a coffee. It was the first coffee of the day. It took me 45 fucking minutes to get this coffee.
Lord, don't I know.
Starbucks. I mean, let's get it in gear. You know what I mean?
What kind of membership card do you have to have?
But I will say this. It was a very entertaining 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Just standing in line.
People watching?
Oh, my God. And then the Bane ordered a non-fat latte, and I tweeted it. I couldn't. non-fat latte for Bane. And, this guy comes out of the crowd with the Bane mask on, and he grabs it, and I was just all this shit that was going through my head. It was funny. But, yeah, so I finally got my coffee. Told him my name was Jack Burton, so I felt like a real badass walking around.
There was a lot of characters at Starbucks that day.
Yeah. Walking around with my so I hit the floor, and I text some buds from Marvel, and I was like, I'm going to come say hi. I'm walking the floor. I thought I had all the time in the world.